As a kid, I didn't play many different video game franchises. The only games I really played was Sonic, a few select Mario games, Minecraft, and whatever my friends wanted to play at the time, which mainly consisted of the annual Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Fortnite. Yes, I'm that young. So it's not surprising that a series like Pac-Man wouldn't exactly interest me. Which I suppose isn't a surprise. I mean, have you seen the first Pac-Man game? Riveting gameplay! That's not what we're here to talk about today. Today we're looking at Pac-Man World, Pac-Man's first steps into 3D, to see if it's worth sinking your teeth into in the modern day. But before we get into things, I just have to say that for this video I played the remake of the game on PS5, so if there's any differences between the two and I fail to mention them, don't have a go at me. Just thought I'd let you know before we get into things. Also, I still don't have a console recorder. The story of this game is pretty simple as video game stories go. Basically, these ghosts, who are named Clyde, Inky, Blinky, Pinky, Stinky, Tinky Winky, and Sinky, are ordered to kidnap Pac-Man and take him to Ghost Island. But they accidentally kidnap his family instead, probably because they look like him? Hey! That's Packist. Eventually, Pac-Man arrives at his home to find that the party has been destroyed and everyone is gone. He then finds a flyer saying that there's a party at Ghost Island and that you'll meet Pac-Man there, and Pac-Man, being a big fan of Pac-Man, sets out to meet him. Which leads into our first level, Buccaneer Beach, which acts as a basic tutorial level and teaches us everything we need to know about the game. Like the different moves Pac-Man can do in this game, like the butt bounce that you can use to bounce and hit enemies, the only ones in this level being these skeletons, a flutter jump which is exclusive to this remake, the Pac Dot attack, which I use like twice in my entire playthrough, and the Rev Roll, which is a spin dash, right? There's no hiding it. I don't like referencing Sonic in every other video, but when you add stuff like this into your games, it forces my hand. Damn it, I did it again! We also learn a lot about how the levels are going to be structured, like these ghost areas at the beginning here are all over the game, and they're pretty basic. Collect all the Pac Dots and fruit, and collect the power pellets to eat the ghosts. There are also switches scattered throughout the levels that do different things, like cause platforms to appear, cause a trail of Pac Dots to appear that you can travel along, open a door, and other miscellaneous things that I can't remember as I'm writing this. There are also different collectibles and power-ups around the level, like the fruit that you can use to open locked doors, the slot tokens that you can use in the slot machine at the end of every level, and the steel ball that turns Pac-Man metal, making him impervious to damage and lets him walk and butt bounce onto water. But besides that, there's not much else to say about this level. After this, we're thrown into this hub world where we can access World 2 and 3 off the bat, but I stuck with World 1 for now, and the second level of World 1 specifically, Corsair's Cove. We're introduced to a few new enemies in this level, like the parrots, pufferfish, and the walking barrels. We're also introduced to a new collectible, this one being the Pac-Man letters. Scattered throughout the levels are letters that spell out Pac-Man. You access them in different ways, either by pressing a switch, opening a door, or just collecting them out in the open or in chests. Once you've collected them all and finished the level, you get taken to a bonus stage where you can collect more fruit, slot tokens, and extra lives. There are also these mazes that you can access using a Galaxian, which I'm going to be honest, didn't know was a fruit. These transport you to more traditional arcade-like Pac-Man levels where you need to collect all the Pac Dots while avoiding the ghosts and collect power pellets to eat the ghosts, and they can be pretty tough, mostly later in the game where the world exclusive gimmicks are added though. I also collected this key that we will use in the next level, but besides that this level was fine all things considered. Onto the third level of World 1 now, Crazy Cannonade, and this level's music is weirdly Irish sounding, and was the first level where I began to struggle, mostly due to me still not being used to the controls, my depth perception being abysmal, and these ramps that you're supposed to rev roll off being finicky as shit. Partway through the level, I wanted to see if I could remap the butt bounce to square and the flutter jump to X just to make it kind of easier for me, and nope, that's a big ol' no. Kind of annoying to be honest, like, why not? It doesn't break anything if I do, and it will make it easier for me to control, but I guess I'll have to get used to it. The only new thing this level adds is the increased use of these timed cannon obstacles that you need to pass once they're not firing, and sometimes platform on them, and these walking cannon enemies. The maze here wasn't too hard either, all it added was the bomb dropping parrots, but I still managed to get through it, although I did die once. At the end of this level we run into one of Pac-Man's friends locked in a cage, and using the key we got in the second level, we free him and end the level. During the slot machine part at the end of this level, I somehow activated Peach Fever, which turned all the fruit in the slot machine into peaches, making it easier for me to get 3 in a row. This never happened again for my entire playthrough, and I have no clue why. Onto the fourth and final level for this world now, which just so happens to be a boss level. This level starts with us needing to run to the right as this pirate ship launches cannonballs at us, destroying the platforms behind us, while collecting as many Pac Dots and fruit as we can. After this, we get a cutscene of Pac-Man meeting the antagonist of this game for the first time, Toc-Man. There was a cutscene of him earlier, but there wasn't anything I wanted to say about it. Toc-Man then sends this ship named HMS Windbag to attack us. This boss is pretty fun. You need to hit these switches to make these pirate dummies that were in the previous levels come up and bounce back the cannonballs that he's shooting at you. Once half of his health is gone, he destroys the platform that we're standing on, which for some reason gives us more pirate dummies. Wouldn't it make more sense for there to be less? And he starts firing the cannonballs more frequently, as well as occasionally rapid firing them, but you still reflect them the same way you did before. 5 more hits and he's defeated, and we finish the first world of the game. I think here would be a good point to go through my thoughts on this game so far, now that we've finished the first world. It's pretty good. Most of my issues can be chalked up to me not fully understanding the controls and physics of this game yet. However, I am starting to get it, and I'll probably get better as time goes on. Moving on to the first level, the second world now, Crisis Cavern. This level introduces us to these Neanderpack enemies and these spiders. And there's also this limited visibility mechanic in the dark which remind me heavily of Crash Bandicoot. There are also a few traps throughout the level, like the falling planks of wood, the falling stalactites, or the pressure plates that cause a boulder to drop down from above, and they caught me off guard a few times, especially in the dark. The maze here wasn't too tough either. All it has are these areas where rocks fall from the sky, which actually killed me once, but I got through it either way. There was also this part where I didn't have the melon I needed to open this gate, and I guess I was so distraught about it I killed myself. But besides that, this level was fine, and after this we get our first look at the bonus stage for this world, and it's pretty easy. All you do is bounce up the trampolines, then drop down this line of fruit, and then bounce up the other trampolines, and you're done. Directly on to the next level now, Manic Mines. This level introduces these mummy enemies, these tornado enemies, and these minecarts with hot coals that we need to avoid. The maze here wasn't that bad either, and there was actually 2 in this level, so that was cool to see, but I got through them just fine. We also rescue Pac Buddy here using a key we find in this level, and he says he'll be waiting for us outside before he flies off. Didn't know dogs could do that. But other than that, this level was pretty basic. Long, but basic nonetheless. And now we're on to the third and final level of this world, the Anubis Rex episode. Yeah, only 3 levels for this world. Originally when I saw this, I thought it was telling me that, hey, some worlds may have more levels than the original 4, and some worlds may have less. But no. Every world from this point on has 3 levels with 1 boss level at the end, so I have to ask, what's the deal with this one? Either way, this level is pretty good, and it starts with you running away from this mummy like I do when she tells me it's bath time. While collecting fruit as spears shoot up from the ground and gates close rapidly to get in your way. After that, you're onto the boss itself, Anubis. You have to use the rev platforms to break the chains protecting his heart. Once they're all gone, you can rev roll into his heart to damage him. Every time you do this, he breaks part of the platform and attacks you in different ways. He starts by launching flaming rocks at you, then he summons 3 mummy enemies, then he launches tornadoes at you, then he launches this mega laser at you. But once he's hit 4 times, he goes down and we move on to World 3. World 2, whilst being the shortest world in the game, is still just as hard, if not harder than the first. But it's because of the shortness that it doesn't really leave a lasting impression or impact on you as you play it, and that's unfortunate to say the least. Next up, we have the first level of World 3, Space Race, and this level gave me major Mario Galaxy vibes, which is a good thing because that's my favourite Mario game. This level was a real spike in difficulty for me. Firstly, it had these shocker enemies that were annoying to deal with depending on the placement. Then you had multiple kinds of lasers that you need to avoid, some with a switch to turn them off momentarily, and some that turn on and off periodically, and these ones specifically were a pain to deal with. So much so that I failed the maze in this level because of them. I just couldn't quite get the timing down. There are also a few areas in the level that my depth perception made especially difficult, like the spiral platform section, but I managed to get through it just fine. Let's hope the next level, Far Out, is a bit simpler. Firstly, the music in this level is great. I know I've neglected to talk about the music so far, and that's because it doesn't really stand out. Not to the point where I have it memorized at least, but hey, maybe if I play it a bit more I eventually will. The only tracks that stand out to me so far are this one and the weird Irish one in the first world. But besides those, not many others stick out. This level has the same enemies and obstacles as the first level in this world, so that's great. But this one also has falling meteors that you need to avoid, and these new enemies called Pac Aliens that you need to avoid or kill, which I just couldn't figure out how to do. Sometimes I could rev roll into them, and other times I couldn't. Sometimes I could butt bounce onto them, and other times I just couldn't, so it became a guessing game of whether I'd kill these things or not, and most of the times I just ended up going around them. The maze here was also pretty difficult, and it was yet another one that I failed, mostly due to the shitty timed lasers. What else? Close to the end of this level, we rescue Professor Pac, who much like everyone else, thanks us and flies off. I don't get why they fly off. Can't they just teleport like I did to get here? Them flying off into literally space kind of pulls me out of the experience of it. So we get to the end of the level and find a useless hollow bridge. No, seriously, why is this here? I can just jump the gap, so there being a bridge here is kinda pointless. But either way, I beat the level and move on to the next one, Gimme Space, and this one is beautiful. Seeing the Earth back there just adds so much to the aesthetic of this world even more. This level also has teleporters, which I think are used only twice in the level, once at the start and once in this cool ghost section. There are also these orbs that I originally thought were hazards, but no, you could just kinda stand on these things. The maze here didn't actually have the lasers this time, but instead the falling meteor obstacles to avoid, and what do you know, I was actually able to beat it this time. I wonder why that is. But I've said all I can about this level, so how about we finish it and move on to the boss, King Galaxian, whose boss fight is a reference to, you guessed it, 1942. No, wait, Space Invaders. No, wait, got it this time, Near Automata. It's a basic shoot 'em up where you have to defeat the enemies by shooting them while avoiding their shots, avoid the meteors or just destroy them, and collect power-ups like the power pellet allowing you to shoot 3 times as much, or the bomb pellet destroying everything on screen. The boss itself is pretty tough too. You have to destroy all 4 of his eyes as he shoots projectiles at you, summons enemies, and can even draw you in with his tractor beam mouth. But I played the original final boss of Sonic Frontiers, so I managed to put him away just fine. But now we have a choice to make of what world we should go to next, the factory or the funhouse. Ah yes, the 2 genders. Factory, funhouse, factory, funhouse. Well, one definitely sounds more fun than the other. But unfortunately the next world is the funhouse, so I guess we'll head there next. World 3 overall was gorgeous and a definite increase in difficulty. And we're only halfway through the game, so God knows what's waiting for me in these next levels. Speaking of, let's head to the next level, Clowning Around. So what's new about this level? Well, the enemies scream for one thing. This level introduces us to these plane driving clowns and these bumper cars, who aren't too hard to take care of. This level, and by proxy this world's main gimmick, is these moving and rotating platforms. They make jumping to areas a bit trickier, especially if your depth perception is as shit as mine, but besides that this is a pretty basic level. The maze here introduces these crushers that, well, crush you if you get the timing wrong, but besides that it wasn't too hard. So how about we move on to the next level, Barrel Blast. This level, weirdly enough, doesn't actually have anything to do with barrels. I guess you could say the rotating ring of platforms could be a barrel, but it's a ring, or a cylinder at best. I wouldn't exactly call it a barrel. Besides that, this level introduces these clown faces that spew poison air to damage you, and I think that's it. Sure, there are new variants of the moving and rotating platforms and some conveyor belts, but really? There's not too much new in this level. The maze here wasn't that bad either, since it's just the same thing as the previous one, just with a different layout. There's this part towards the end of the stage where you need to time a rev roll off a ramp to land on rotating platforms with a gap, which I thought was pretty cool. But besides that, this level was pretty basic. On to the last main level of this world now, Spin Dizzy. I mean, if you say so. Whoa, I'm actually dizzy now. Oh god. I'm still dizzy from spinning. This level has falling floorboards and these balloon platforms that pop after a short while, but that's basically it. It's definitely the hardest level of the world, with all the jumps on rotating platforms over enemies and clowns spewing poison gas at you, and there's a few too many invisible walls for my liking, but it was fine nonetheless. The maze here was also pretty simple. All I had to do was wait for the crushers on a couple occasions, so it wasn't too hard to beat. We rescue Pac's sis from this level, who thanks her father for rescuing her. Why is she called Pac's sis then, game? And she flies off much like the others. So with her saved, let's move on to the boss of this world in the Clown Prix episode. Now this boss is incredibly fun. And that's because it's not actually a boss, but a race against these clown racers in a first-person kart racer, where you have to build up your boost gauge on the left, avoid bombs, and collect power pellets to become invulnerable for a short time. All you have to do to win is, well, win the race, which I managed to do on my first try. By the way, there's actually an achievement for beating the Clown Prix in 140 seconds or less, and holy moly, I barely managed to do that! But with that, we finish World 4 and move on to the 5th world, the Factory. World 4 overall was much easier than World 3. Sure, it has its moments, but comparing it to the other worlds? Yeah, no, not too bad. Let's hope the same can be said for the first level of this world, Perilous Pipes. This level has us dealing with Sparkies, these blowtorch looking enemies, and Magna Movers, which are these moving magnets that try to crush you, or can pick you up if you're metal. You also have to deal with these red hot pipes that shoot out steam to damage you, and again, it gave me Crash Bandicoot vibes. The maze here also had the timed steam as an obstacle, but I still managed to get through it nonetheless. Besides that, this level was alright. A bit annoying at times, and I nearly missed the second A in the level, so I had to backtrack to get it, but besides that, it was fine. On to the next level now, which is named Under Pressure! Pushing down on me, pushing down on you, I am a ball. This level doesn't have much of note besides the conveyor belts, which I think are new in this level, and the drills that act basically just like the crushers. Besides that, there wasn't really much of note here, and the maze was pretty simple too, and I'm pretty sure I have these mastered now. There's this water segment near the end of this level with these new shark enemies and burning hot pipes in the water that we have to avoid, but besides that, this level wasn't too bad. And directly on to the next one now, Down the Tubes. Now this level was a long one. It starts off fine enough and even introduces these tilting platforms and falling gear obstacles to you, and the maze here I was able to get through without much struggle. But then you get to this bit. You have to save Pac-Boy from this cage, but to do that you need to get the key. But to get the key you need to get a banana wearing a cute dress, and in order to do that you have to go through this labyrinthian water section. And I swear man, this section is designed like a goddamn Metroidvania with how confusing it is. There are certain parts where you need to get a metal power-up to break a chest, but the metal power-up you get at the start doesn't last long enough to get there. So you then need to find a different power-up in this section, just to backtrack all the way to the chest you wanted to open, just to find out that what was in the chest is actually an... So then you go to a completely different section to get a metal power-up, take it to another chest, which at this point I wish was a woman's, and finally get the fruit you need to get the dress banana, take that all the way back to the beginning to get the key, save Pac-Boy, watch him go to space and end the level. Bugger me, that was annoying. But with that, we're finally on to the boss of this world, the Krome Keeper. This boss was actually really fun and well designed. The Krome Keeper himself only has 2 attacks in the first phase. He can either launch his hands at you, or stomp the ground and cause debris to fall from the sky. There are also these magnets on chains that can pick up bombs that you need to avoid, and all you need to do is wait for a metal power-up to appear, pick it up, avoid the magnets that can pick you up now since you're metal, run along the heated pipes and attack the Krome Keeper himself, all while being on these conveyor belts. Once you've hit him twice, he adds missile launchers to his shoulders that, well, launch missiles at you. After you've hit him 2 more times, he electrifies his arms and attaches these cannons to them that launch out a mega beam that you have to jump over. But if you hit him 2 more times, he goes down and we move on to the last world of the game, the Boss Mansion. All in all, World 5 was annoying. A lot of annoying obstacles and hazards to deal with, and that 3rd level, never doing that again. I did end up enjoying the boss, but I think I can confidently say that World 5 is my least favourite world in this game. Before we move on to the next level, I just wanted to point out that this world's hub has a really atmospheric wind sound going on, which would be cool if the happy-go-lucky hub music wasn't playing at the same time. Does this happen in the original? Because it kind of seems like a mistake. But enough about that, let's move on to the first level of the final world, Ghostly Garden. This level introduces these candle skeletons who lay motionless until you get close, after which they start moving and blow their candle to attack you, and these man-bats who fly back and forth and drop bombs on you, kind of like the parrots from the first world. In terms of obstacles for this level, there are only these coffin platforms. The brown ones you can jump on no problem, but the purple ones pop out of existence after a short while. Oh, hang on. This level is one of the trickiest to find all the Pac-Man letters in, so Pac-Man will have to be consciously looking for them if he wishes to complete the stage 100%. Consciously looking for them? What does that mean? I'm not going to be playing the game while I'm sleeping, am I? The maze in this level was fine. The only new thing it has are these spinning flaming tiki heads, so I was able to get through it. But besides those things, this level was fine. A bit tricky at times, mostly due to my depth perception. But yeah, it was fine. On to the next one now, Creepy Catacombs. This level introduces our final regular enemies of the game, these living tombstones. They They walk around and slam down on their face when you get close to them, kind of like Womps from Mario 64. Besides those, there's not really much to say about this level. There's this underground cave section with moving platforms, crushing blocks, and these flaming tiki heads. And the maze here limited my visibility, but besides that, there wasn't too much of note. Have you figured out that I'm starting to run out of things to say about these levels? So how about we move on to the final regular stage of the game, Grave Danger. This level introduces these storm clouds that periodically shoot lightning down at you. You can also stand on these, something that you'll need to do if you want 100% the level. This level has a pretty intricate section towards the end where you have to go through one path to get a fruit that opens a gate to another path, that has you do some platforming that get you another fruit that opens another path, which gets you the Galaxian you need to access the maze at this level, which I beat first try by the way, thank you for asking. That path then has you platforming over clouds to rescue Pac-Mom, who is actually Pac-Man's wife, so is named completely incorrectly, and end the level. And by the way, the end of this level looks like a schlong. That was a fun level. And here we are at the final boss. This is what the entire game has been leading up to, so let's not waste any more time and finish this game. And this boss is very goo, with a very loud duh! The first phase consists of him shooting 12 rounds of 5 Pac darts, after which he uses his jetpack to fly forwards at Pac-Man in a straight line. You have to hit him when he's stationary, which I'm gonna be honest, I did not put together in the moment. I thought I had to hit him as he was charging towards me, but no. But luckily for me, I had plenty of time to figure it out, because in this fight, as soon as you only have one hit left, one of Pac-Man's friends that we saved earlier cheers us on and replenishes our health. And once I knew what I was doing, it wasn't too hard to get past phase 1. Phase 2 starts with him eating a chrome pellet and becoming metal. I thought you already were. And using a butt bounce to create a shockwave that you need to jump over 3 times before he launches these cannons at you, one of which launches a chrome pellet that you can grab, allowing you to damage him. He can also do the same charge attack, but this time it creates a line of fire that damages you. This is the longest phase of the fight, mostly due to the fact that you have to wait for him to do the cannon attack so you can get a chrome pellet and attack him like twice. But once you've hit him 8 more times, he combines 2 power pellets, grows huge, and phase 3 begins. In this phase you have to jump over the shockwaves he puts out by stomping and attack one of his feet 3 times, while also avoiding his rev roll attack. After you've hit one of his feet 3 times, he falls over and you can climb his arm to hit his head once, then you wash, rinse, repeat 2 more times to end the phase. That means that if we include the 3 hits he has to take to his feet to knock him over in the 3rd phase, this boss has a grand total of 28 hit points. God damn. Then the boss ends with a Sonic Frontiers QuickTime event. Toc-Man is revealed to be a ghost called Orson.
Ah, the French.
The credits roll and we had to collect letters to spell thank you for playing, which I promptly failed. We unlocked the original Pac-Man arcade game, which I promptly failed, and the game ends. And that is Pac-Man World. Not too bad. This game is alright. I'd say it's a good entry-level platformer if you can look past some of its more difficult moments. The music is great, the level design is good and intricate but not too annoying, and the gameplay is fun. I know I didn't 100% the entire game and I was just playing casually, but I still had a lot of fun, and who knows, maybe I'll go back and 100% this one later on. But I'm going to be truthfully honest. The only reason I really played this game was so I could play the Sonic DLC in the next one. I mean, have you seen that shit? Shit looks dope.